I have something bigger. Now I have a school with all of these amazing students, and I want them to fly as well. Sometimes it's scary to jump off of a cliff, but guess what? I don't want to be second guessing myself later. I want to say I did it, and nobody stopped me, and I don't have to answer to anyone. That's what I'm about. Who's about that life? Who's about that life where you're taking control of your destiny? There may be some obstacles, but look, I'm ready for it. I'm built for it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be placed in you. So you're built for it. We have an amazing lady up next that my husband actually connected me to. And I'm so thankful that I met her. I'm hoping that we can just, the universe is just, again, jumping off a cliff and the God putting people around you to help you on your journey. So the next speaker that we have, we're actually going to do an interview style, and we're going to put a mic out in the audience so you all can ask questions as well. Our next speaker is a 4-time author. You've seen her on Atlanta Housewives. The recent season, Peacock can thank their subscription that they got from me because of this lady. I said, I'm going to get a Peacock subscription so I can see her. She is a wife. She's a mother, an amazing spirit. So please help me welcome Monyetta Shaw Carter to the stage. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah. Nice, Monyetta. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Can we get this mic on? Monyetta's mic? Yes, no, yes, yes, yes. Are we good? Check mic, check mic.
Mic check. Okay.
Mic check, mic check. Okay. Monyetta, yes, yes. How are you doing?
Doing so well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad the hubby connected us. Like
yes.
all this alignment. Like
yes.
We were on live the other night, like tripping out, guys. Like so much in common. Like it's truly alignment. It's truly like God. Like seriously. So
it
I'm
is.
excited.
It is. Excited. We're both Geminis. We both recently got married. Shout out to the husband over there. Yes. Okay, so Monyetta.
Yes.
We're talking about the theme is taking our confidence to the next level.
Yes.
Tiffany just talked about jumping off a cliff. That takes confidence, right, you all?
Yes, it does.
So what does confidence mean to you, and have you ever jumped off of a cliff?
Oh, honey, I feel like I'm always jumping off of a cliff. Listen, just having faith, you know. Just being self-assured, you know, of yourself. And like I was speaking on the other day, not everyone gets that, you know, the parents that speak life into them. And of course, like I do my kids. But it's good to just speak life and just know who and whose you are. Because in life, you get thrown so many like obstacles and storms, you know, but what builds character, what shows your character is how you respond to those things. And you gotta have confidence. You have to have confidence to be able to get through those things. So it's super, super important to me, and just in general in the world, like you have to have confidence.
So speaking life into your kids, speaking life in, you know, at a young age, have you ever jumped off of a cliff? Like, you know, your friends may be doing this, or they may be playing it safe. I left a 6-figure job, sis, and people were like, are you okay?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. You know, like, yes, I'm sure of this. Have you ever jumped off of a cliff? And if so, could you tell us a little bit about that? And, you know, maybe the obstacles or benefits that came from it.
Yeah, it was scary. I was a radio personality when in my hometown, Shreveport, Louisiana. Whoop, whoop. And yes, so I was supposed to go, I have family in Los Angeles, my aunt and uncle, and I was going to go there, and then I came back, finished school. And so just the uncertainty of everything. I fell in love with the entertainment business at an early age. And so I was like, okay, let me go get my degree, you know, make my parents proud, even though I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything in psychology. allergy, but but I went back home, and the movie industry actually came to Shreveport, Louisiana, and so I'm like, okay, yeah, let me stop being on air and just go try. I started as an extra, and then
Wow.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, so this is good. It's getting really good.
Yeah.
And people were like, well, I don't think you're gonna make it, because you get a lot of rejection. You hear no so many times, but that's what built up my thick skin, my confidence. I just have to keep going and keep going. So I started off as the extra. It was Malcolm Lee, who does Best Man, everything like that. He actually had my first audition, found an agent, and got my first role in Soul Men. I was Odetta, the character Odetta. It was the late Bernie Mac's last film, and with Samuel L. Jackson. So if I would have just been scared and didn't have faith and didn't jump, I never would have gotten that opportunity. So yes, for sure. And it's it's not easy, but if you're determined and you can absolutely do it. So yes, for sure.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I remember when I started modeling, and I went to a modeling school. After the modeling school, they put you in front of all of these agents.
Oh, yes.
Nobody picked me. I was like, all right, I'm not a model. Let me just move on with my life.
Baby, you are the model.
Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis. And then lo and behold, in college, I start doing things. And then after college, Ebony calls me and say, hey, we want you to do a 160-city tour. What?
Yes, Fashion Fair.
What? And then my mom was like, you're not going. Oh, yes, I am.
Bye. Bye, Mama.
She was scared for me.
Yes,
and I was like,
sure.
ooh, Mom, get out the way. I love my moms, but I guess I'm bringing that point up also when you talk about rejection and different things like that. Sometimes people around you can project their fears on you, right?
It's their fear. They're afraid. And you have to be careful, your village and who you have around you, because they can just leave you at a standstill because it's their insecurities and they don't have the confidence. You have to know, okay, that's their stuff. It's not yours, and you have to just go for it. And maybe, maybe distance yourself a little bit from those people.
I agree. And it's kind of sad sometimes, but you can still love someone,
Absolutely.
but just understand, where they are.
Yeah, love them from a distance.
Love them from a distance. And I love my mom. She was just trying to protect me. Luckily,
sure.
my dad, he was like, nope, she's going. Go, girl.
Yeah, it was the same.
Go,
my
get
mom
out
was
this
the same
house.
Way. Yes. My mom was content. She was fine, the family, everything. But my dad was like, all right, I see it in you.
Yes.
Go ahead, baby.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I'm so glad and so thankful. Even though, she was protecting us.
Yes.
So it was,
Yes. Okay, so let's get into your public life, right, Monyetta?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, you have a movement called Keep It Classy.
Yes.
But it started from a journey of a relationship.
Yes.
So can we talk about your movement, Keep It Classy?
Yes, for sure. I went through a very public breakup with my children's father. Hey, Maddie and Mason. It's the celebrity world, when things don't work out, what do you see? You see them dragging each other, and they're not thinking that it's going to affect the children, So as I was on Atlanta Exes, a TV show, Hollywood Exes, and just by literally, I think it was right after the breakup. So I'm being thrown into this. Thank God he placed me there with women who've been through it before. So I was able to talk to them and just, just experience everything, right? And so I was just like, okay, this is this, and I'm moving how I'm moving. And I was able to change so many people's lives just by how I didn't keep my kids away from their dad, even though I was so hurt, just things like that, honestly. And so I began to journal. I know we were talking about journaling and just writing things down. That was one of the most therapeutic things ever. And from that, I wrote the book. It was bigger than me because how I moved, and everybody was like, I remember one lady said that because of me, she was able to allow her children's father to be back in the kids' lives after 6 years. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm
Monyetta.
like, yes, it was like such a responsibility to me, just living my life, doing what I'm doing, because I know it's the right thing to do. I was able to do that and affect change. And I'm like, okay, this was not in vain, And so I'm just like, yes, I have to be vulnerable and open up and tell my story. And so that's kind of where that came from. And the Keep It Classy movement is about, it started from my book, Keep It Classy, Co-Parenting Strategies for Unstoppable Moms and Devoted Dads. So, yes, thank you guys.
Ah, yes. So, I just became a stepmother. I recently got married, and as I was like just digging into Monyetta's life, I said, I need to, read her book, because when we have blended families and past relationships, it's a process.
Yes, it's definitely a process.
Yes.
It's a process, not always easy, but you can get it done in a very good way. You can.
Yes,
for sure.
And confidence plays a role in that, right? Because you have to be confident in that new space.
Yes, for
Put
sure.
your ego to the side.
To the side. That's my main thing in the book. Put your ego to the side. It's not about you. It's not about how you feel. Of course, you need to make sure that you're fine so you can take care of everything and be, the positive light in your blended family. But you have to make sure you're good. You have to put the ego aside and have the confidence that it takes to, be the matriarch of this family and just be kind and be present for sure.
And then Monyetta, for those that don't know, in your first relationship, you were with Neo, the R&B singer.
Yes.
Now you have moved on.
Yes.
You have an amazing husband that's sitting in this front row that is representing.
Where's Waldo? When you over there?
Yes. And
I love you, babe.
I was watching Atlanta Housewives, and I love that you all have positive clothing on. Like your husband had on Be Kind t-shirt.
Yes.
You had on the Spread Love t-shirt.
For sure.
So my question to you is, being on reality TV, particularly Atlanta Housewives, and I'm really digging in because of you, so I'm going to start watching all of the episodes.
I appreciate it. I won't let you down. I won't let you down.
Yes, and I'm sure you won't. But the episode that I did see, it almost felt like purposeful drama, to just get people
Listen, it's
worked
entertainment,
up.
I guess. It's entertainment. And it's funny because as you notice, we're intentional about how we come across. We're intentional about how we affect people, the light. We know we have this light, and it's our responsibility to spread love, honestly, just like the hat says, no matter what. And it's kind of difficult because, of course, not all the time they want to see that, but it's my responsibility to show that not everyone is combative all the time. Not everyone is about drama all the time. There are other sides to Black women in general, to all relationships in general. So I'm going to show that. As long as they give me the opportunity, I'm going to do that. I don't care how much, they might offer to do certain things. If it's not true to who I am, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. It's not worth it.
Amen. Because I'm like, oh my God. Because I'm just watching. I said, oh my goodness, they just want you to get, they just want you to argue. And I know it's good for TV. People like that kind of stuff. But I'm like, oh, okay. So yes, it is. So you mentioned that you just recently had a Keep It Classy event.
Yes.
What can we expect, in the future with that?
More Keep It Classy weekends. And I have the Mom and Play Nights. That's a tour going around. We do so much as moms and the village, the fly aunties, just a time to just let your hair down, have a good time, network, and get with like-minded individuals and, just create some great things together. It's funny because my partner with the Mom and Play Nights, we actually met because I was speaking at a conference of hers, and we just connected, and we were both like, oh my gosh, I'm stuck, just like I'm stuck with you. You stuck with me now?
Yes,
kind of the same thing.
Yes.
And so we just came together and created that space of positivity, for us to get together. But the Keep It Classy movement we had panels, we had therapists, psychologists, the men, my husband, Raph from the show Housewives, Toya, right, one of my best friends, her husband, soon-to-be husband, Red, spoke. And it's like you don't really get to hear the men's perspective on, co-parenting or how they feel when they're not able to grow up with their son or daughter in the house. They were really vulnerable, and it was such an amazing, impactful session. And so, and of course, we talked about, we had a love session with Mael, my friend Monique Rodriguez, and her husband Melvin, who has Mael Organics. They were there. Dora Mike, that owns this amazing management company. We had foundation owners just talking about how they're able to maintain their 23-year-old, marriage, and it's not always always easy. And when you throw in work together, you know, it gets a little complicated. But just being that example and having those examples there for the Keep It Classy weekend, it's just amazing. And we're going to do that annually.
Nice.
And it was good. It was really, really, really good. And I was super excited. I'm very excited to keep it going on. So hopefully you guys look out for that.
Yes, keep it classy. So we're going to close out with, can you give us 3 tips on how to maintain your confidence? Because you're in spaces, you know, where you have to be sure of yourself. And then if you don't mind, for the last 5 minutes, if anyone in the audience have questions, we're going to open it up for questions. And then, yeah, we'll close out that way.
Well, thank you. Well, always say know who's and who you are. That's number one. Because especially being in the industry, which I'm in, the entertainment industry, it can get a little crazy. People can try to sway you in a different way. But being secure with who you are, being authentic to yourself really, really helps. So you have to know who and whose you are, honey, because I wouldn't be sitting right here if it wasn't for the grace of God, and my spirituality and my grounding and my meditation, like all of those things. You got to keep it together, honey, like you really, really do. So that's number one, I would say. And honestly, I would also say what others think about you is not your business.
Oh, man, that's a big one.
That
is a big one.
It's really not your business
that is
at
a
all.
Big one.
You would get so caught up, you know. You already know. Yes, you'll get so caught up. Like, well, why? Why don't they like me? Why? What's going on? I didn't wear this. And especially if you're looking on the internet, which you should take breaks from. But, you know, we're all working on that. You know, people are so mean. And they just say the craziest things. And if you're like, just like that, you're like, oh, my gosh, and maybe I should. Nuh-uh. It's not your business. It's not your business, boo. That's what I like to say. It's not your business, boo. Just, you know, that's their stuff. That's their issues, you know. And it comes from their insecurities and their lack of confidence, you know, their lack of confidence. And I guess like the third thing would be your village, who you surround yourself with, honestly. It's really, really big, super important. As you know, we talked about my dear mom passing not long ago, but her and my dad would have been married for 50 years in February. So, and just having that example growing up, and that's my foundation. That's my, you know, that's the reason why I didn't go crazy in public, y'all, because it mattered, you know, it mattered what they thought, what they instilled in me, and they were my village around me, and they are my village around me, you know, so that's super important. Watch who you surround yourself with. Your time is valuable. Your energy is valuable. Protect it at all costs.
Amen to that. Let's give it up for Monyetta Shaw Carter, you all. Does anybody have a question before we break for lunch? I'm sure you'll, okay, we have a question over here. Yes, ma'am.
Not you. Hey, Bill. Hi, beautiful. Yes. Hey, Angela. Okay. Yes. Oh, Queen, you already know. We connected when we walked in. I was
Shout
like,
out
hey,
to
girl,
that.
thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
Shout out to that. Yeah, she is our next, you know, light movement. So you all make sure to continue to support Monyetta Shaw Carter. Monyetta, thank you so much for coming out in your busy schedule, because I know you're headed to North Carolina right after this, and we're 30 minutes behind. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I would not have missed it for the world. It is amazing what you are doing. I give this sister her flowers. Like, this is amazing. You've been doing it for a long time. I appreciate it. I love it. And whatever you need from me, I'm here for sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give it up for Monyetta. All right. You all were breaking for lunch. We're going to break for lunch.